I'm not trying to self-incriminate myself. There was a day where I did cross the line. Not going to go too much into detail.
And your parents were like, no, or were they like, if you take your sister, if you do this?
They wouldn't know.
I wouldn't trust this guy.
Welcome back to El Coto Podcast. My name is Tanya, and this is my brother, Mikey.
What's up, everybody?
Mikey wearing his America shirt per the norm.
Every day.
He should be a model for the Americas.
They should be sponsoring.
I agree.
Yes. Tonight, we are doing something new, something we haven't done before, and is have two guests. So you're getting two for the price. No, two for the. Is that how you say?
Two for the
Two
price
for the
of
price
one.
of one. I don't know. We have our lovely cousin Mario and his beautiful fiance Bella.
Hey.
Got the applause now.
Hey, appreciate
Yes.
that. Appreciate that. No, it's
Guys.
definitely appreciate y'all having us on here. You know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's an honor, and we're glad to be here. So appreciate the
Oh my
invite. So
God,
thank you.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and come out and say sorry to everybody, but Mario has always been my favorite cousin.
Damn.
No shade to anybody out there. Everyone's cool, but just y'all heard it here on the Koto podcast first.
Yes.
Step it up.
Yes, step it up. Bega, how are you?
I'm excited.
Yes.
This is fun.
You are a fiance, honey. Right?
That's exciting.
That's the exciting part.
I don't like the hesitation.
Damn.
She said, did you say Beyonce or fiance?
Fiance.
Right, get it right.
That's
Beyonce.
right. Yes, welcome, guys. We're so excited to have two guests. I feel like for the conversation that we're trying to have today, we kind of need two perspectives. We will get into it, but tell us a little bit about yourselves so they can get to know each other. They can, not each other, y'all know each other. Hopefully, I don't know. But so the people from the podcast can get to know you guys.
For sure. Babe, you want to go first?
I guess. Okay, so I grew up in a big family. I have siblings, and they're all girls, and I am the third born, and then there's a little one, so there's just
A lot of girls.
a lot of girls, a lot of, let me borrow your clothes, let me get that, but never get it back.
Oh.
So there's a lot of that, and I don't know, that's...
And you're from Tyler?
Yes.
Tyler,
Born and raised.
Per.
Mother Francis born.
Mother Francis.
Right.
All right. So my name's Mario Alberto Garcia. Got to get the full name in there.
Put some respect on his name, okay?
Born and raised here in Rose City, Tyler, Texas.
Another
21
Mother
years old.
Francis
Yeah,
baby.
Another Mother Francis
Another
baby.
Mother Francis baby.
There we go. Got to represent. Just cousins of obviously Mikey and Tanya. That's pretty much it. I'm really a kind of just lay low kind of person, so.
Yeah. But honestly, I feel like you bring the calm to the family.
I've heard that too, and I kind of get that. Like I said, I'm real kind of on the low, quiet, kind of reserved to myself. So I mean, I can understand that maybe.
I feel
On the last show, we had the other spectrum of the family.
Shout out to George Porkchop.
yes, like that was the wildest. Now we're bringing the calmness.
We're
Kinda
settling
mellow
down.
out.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like Mikey was like, okay, Mikey, come on. And then it was like, okay, George. Okay, come on, George. And then it was like, okay, Mario. Here we go. Yeah.
Well, I think. Well, I didn't mean to
No, go
interrupt,
for it.
but I think me and you are kind of like the same
Yeah,
kind of
we're kinda-
vibe. I think
yeah,
we're the
yeah.
common
Yeah.
ones of the family.
Well, I feel like because you guys both have older, crazy sisters.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Shout out to Leslie.
Yeah. Shout out Leslie.
The baby,
The baby,
Deshaun,
Deshaun, everybody. But
Yes.
yeah, I agree. I can agree with that for sure.
Yeah, because,
Definitely.
I'm a little cray-cray. Mikey was always more like, let's not do that.
Somebody, if If there's one crazy, they can't be too crazy.
Exactly. Someone's got to take care of the other. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes.
For sure.
Well, speaking of sisters, brothers,
Crazies.
Crazies. I feel like growing up in a Hispanic family, Mexican family, there are two different sets of rules for the girls and for the boys of the family.
Yeah.
That's not fair. I'm just kidding. So let's talk about that. I feel like growing up, Mikey is 2 years younger than me. And he could do whatever he wanted.
Is that facts, Mikey?
Well, half fact, half cap.
Okay,
Because not that it's not that I could do anything I wanted, but I also didn't go do dumb stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Stuff
Like
that you weren't supposed
yeah,
to.
yeah. So everything I did, I knew, but it was like not in the limit or above the limit. So
Right. So you weren't
Yeah.
trying to like go get drunk with your friends and like
Right,
get
right.
into fights.
yeah.
Well,
Okay.
you're boring. But yeah, you don't have any brothers.
No.
Is there in the family somebody that's closer to your dad? Because I feel like as girls, there's girls that are like closer to their dad than their mom. Who do you think it would be? Would it be you?
No, it'd be my older sister.
The older sister.
Yes.
I feel like older sisters are like a complete different like alien. Because I feel like we do feel that pressure of the family, and also I've talked to other older sisters and I feel like they've always want to like please their dad. Daddy issues, I don't know. Yes, my daddy is my issue, okay? So she's the one that's closer to your dad.
Yeah, they have always had this kind of bond that, me and my other siblings don't really relate to.
Yeah.
Because, I feel like I am closer to my mom.
Yeah.
But, I love them, both equally. It's just like that special bond, that connection you have,
Yes.
But how far apart are y'all? Like
So-
years wise.
There's a big gap.
There's a huge gap.
So was she by herself for a while?
No. So the oldest one, she's 30, and then the second one's the one that's closer to my dad.
Oh.
She's 26, and then 21, and then the 14-year-old. So the 26-year-old is the one that mainly has that connection, and we love to like bring it up to my dad, and we always like, hey, who's your favorite? Like, you don't need to answer that because we already know.
Yeah. Well, we do that with my mom, with Mikey.
Yeah.
Like, there is no question that if there was like a thing where my mom had to choose, let's say which one gets the bigger piece of the cake, it will always be Mikey. Like, that is her little boy. And she's like, I love you guys equally. I said, okay.
Right.
Okay, girl.
I believe it, but sure, it's whatever.
Yeah, but same thing. I'm like the only boy.
And also, Mikey, this is the thing, and now that I'm going to therapy and I'm getting older, I think that Mikey knew how to play the game.
Is that true, Mikey? Do you agree with that, or
If
what
the
do you got to
game
say about it?
is life, then yes.
Because
Words of the wise.
Yeah.
with my mom, she always says, Mikey never tells me no. So even if he can't do it at that moment, he'll be like, oh, okay, sí, ahorita lo hago, nada más voy a hacer esto.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we need something, okay, ahorita yo voy, like, he always is like, but if it's me, if I can't do it, I'm like, no, like, oh, sorry, I can't do it. I give her a no, and she doesn't like that.
Yeah, same
So
thing.
you'd kind of give a no, but
A nice
softer.
no.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
A cute no.
Yeah. I don't compromise myself with a straight no. But yeah, that's the thing. Both Tanya and Eileen, I mean, not throwing everybody under the bus, but
Oh,
yeah.
honey, it better be a big bus, honey, okay?
But yeah, like they would just like rezongar to my mom. You know what I mean? Like, not in a bad way, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or then between women, they were like getting into little scuffles and stuff.
Sassiness.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we were
And I was
pretty
just like-
sassy.
I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do.
Yeah, Mike
I
is
get you.
very unbothered. Does with you, Mario, does your sister and your mom argue a lot, or?
So I feel like growing up, there were some aspects of that, of kind of like the different rules for the girls, different rules for the boy kind of type deal. But at the same time, I feel like we all got the same kind of punishment, but it also depended on what you did. Kind of like what Mikey's saying. It's kind of like,
I don't like this.
Depends on kind of it really depended on how far you kind of took what you did. Yeah. And I'm not gonna say I did less things than she did.
But you just never got caught.
That's the thing. I was smarter on moving.
Okay, the reason why we're in this podcast is to expose Mario in front of Bella. Bella contacted us privately.
This is the marriage counseling.
Whatever I say, I'm not trying to self-incriminate myself. Just put that out there.
This is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, there you go. Do not try this at home.
I would like to call my lawyer after this.
No, but I feel like kind of more of a softer argument or kind of disagreements, but I never feel like we, like, as an argument, like a back and forth.
Yeah.
It was rare. It was very rare. It had to be something, like, serious.
Yeah.
That affected the whole family, I feel like, whenever it kind of get to that point. But if I'm being honest, like Mikey said, not throwing anyone under the bus, I feel like Leslie, was kind of more of like, hold on, let me speak what I'm going to speak. And,
all right. So, let's bring out Leslie.
Okay, so I thought of some scenarios, and you guys tell me your opinion or like what your experience was with that. Let's talk about sleepovers. Were you allowed to have sleepovers? Go to somebody's house? Or people sleeping over with you?
Mario's not involved in this.
Yes and no. It just really depended if my parents knew the other
person.
Yes, if they knew like who is in the household and how many people are going to be there. They're always just like, they're not strict. It's just that they want to be careful and just make sure that we're in the right situation. Because, nowadays and even back then, it's just scary.
No, yeah. I feel like strict parents, some of them are... I don't think I know anybody that's just been strict just to be strict, just to be like, oh, I want you to do this. It's
just so you don't have...
Yeah, it's because they truly do care. But at the time when you're young, you're like...
You hate me.
Yes, you hate me.
Why does it matter? Let me live my life.
Yes.
You don't want me to have fun.
Well, I never went to a sleepover for a friend.
Yeah, no.
I think that the only time we slept over was at a friend's house, but it was like a bunch of us. And I kind of told my mom that the parents were going to be there. And we lived like down the road, but the parents weren't there.
Oh, yeah. Time with Pancho and all them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
but we were going to go to... Black Friday. Yeah, we're going to go Black Friday.
So it wasn't like a full sleep.
It was like a nap.
Yeah. A nap over.
No, but yeah, it was like Tanya, me, and like it was a bunch of people. You know what I mean? So it was like.
But that was like the only time that I was able to like sleep over at somebody else's house. I was never able to invite somebody. To sleep over. Like that was like a big no. The only time a friend slept over, and not in my room. Let's make that very clear, okay?
Slept in my bed.
In your room. Slept in Mikey's room. Our friend Manny, shout out Manny. Actually, we met him outside of a concert literally 12 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
We have the text.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And we became friends, and then he came to Tyler to go to the fair. And then...
That's an odd thing to come for to Tyler.
I mean, he had a good old time, honey. And then we went out, we drank, and then it was like super late.
It was real, and we had drank a lot too.
And he was like, I'm just going to sleep outside your house and like in his car.
Yeah.
And then Mikey was like, you can sleep in my room, but like, don't go anywhere else. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. Because we were friendly with him, but we didn't know
him. At that point, we didn't know him that well.
It's kind of like a hi, bye, what's up kind of situation.
Yeah, like we're just here to have fun.
Right.
But yeah, he spent the night at Mikey's room. And
like my mom was freaking out though.
Yeah.
But I was like, Mom, like he's in my room, like we're good. And she's like, nah, man, like Tanya pone una silla a la puerta and all this stuff. Like
Mikey's like, no te preocupes, le voy a echar la pierna.
No, you're pierna. I ain't letting this fool go.
What about you guys? What about you? Have you ever had like a sleepover or?
I feel like, and I'm pretty sure y'all remember, kind of growing up, our families would get together on Sundays, and we'd kind of be there till like late. You know, it'd be just like a small get together, a little carne asada, and then
it would turn out
next thing you know, everyone's lit, and you know it's whatever. You know, typical
right.
Mexican fashion. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
There's some other folks that can relate to that, and we'd spend the night, you know, over at Charles' house,
especially. And
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. After that, I mean, for me personally, I guess maybe it's because it's a guy thing. There's not a lot of guys that'll be like, hey, you know, come sleep over, you know. But
anybody with good intentions.
Yeah. But I will say, yeah, a couple times in middle school, going into high school, you know, you're at that age, you know, kind of, you know, going out having fun with your friends, stuff, you know. We're all being there, like I said, not trying to self-incriminate myself. You know, you have fun, you know, you're doing stuff you're not supposed to. So, you know, you'd stay, you know, the night at your friend's house and stuff. I will say, though, there was a day where I did cross the line. Not going to go too much into details. There was a day where I did cross the line a little too much with the homies out there. And my parents kind of had to draw the line and were like, you know what? Like, you know, your ass is staying here. Oh, sorry. I don't know if I can swear.
Yes,
sorry about that. But, yeah, they're like, you know, that's it. You know, they cut me off
can't
right
be
then and
going
there.
out
So.
crazy. What about... were your parents ever? Well, I guess this is more like for the girls or something. Have they ever been like, hey, don't wear that or don't do this? Like, if we're gonna go out or if somebody's in the house, don't wear this, don't wear that. Mm-hmm. Have you ever?
Yes, and it's just like I understand, but I'm like, well, that age is like you don't really care.
Right.
Like, you just want to be like rebellious and stuff, you know?
Yeah. I've never been like a scandalous dresser, you know, like, but I feel like my parents have always let me wear whatever I want. Mm-hmm. Even like with my hair, when I've done like, I've gotten piercings. They've never really like said, don't wear that, don't do that. But I do hear people say like, hey, your tío's coming over, don't wear shorts or don't wear that. But like you never hear like anybody say, your tía's coming over, put your shirt on. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never heard that before in my life. So I got beef with that. I'm saying, well, you know, that to me, that's a little weird. But
right.
But at the same time, I mean, I feel like if you know that this person is like creepy, then don't invite them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, yeah, if these people are a little sus or like, is looking at your daughter, you know what I mean, or like,
why bring them over?
Yeah. Or like, one thing that now that I have nieces and nephews, like, if they don't want to say hi, it's okay.
I agree with that.
Especially if they're little, like.
No, I think they should say hi, but like, no, like, you don't have to go because before it was like. Go kiss them, like not like in the cheek, you know what I mean? Like,
our family is a big like, let me give you a kiss.
Right.
Well, it's weird because on my dad's side of the family, they barely talk to you sometimes. No, but they're just like
a high five.
Yeah, like they walk in and then they're just
not
like,
affectionate.
hey,
or not very affectionate. Yeah.
And then with our side of the family is like con beso, con abrazo.
Véngase para acá.
Yeah. So I feel like with girls, especially with girls, of course, like walk in and be like, oh, saluda.
Right. Say
but
hi
if they
everybody.
don't want to say hi, like I don't think it should be a thing where it's like. Fuerzas that
you have to go give them a hug.
Yeah. Because you have nieces.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
I wouldn't feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Because those are your babies, and you just want to do what's right with them and make sure that no one's around them that will hurt them.
Right. And I feel like the people that are around them with good intentions are going to understand. She doesn't want to say hi right now.
Right.
And it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But that's like another thing, like, with women, it's like, tienes que saludar, porque si no, eres payasa, te crees muy maleducada. And with guys, it's like, ay.
Right.
I like it.
It's like disrespectful
Marijuana.
for us.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Kind of like what Mikey was saying. I feel like at a certain point, you you should say, show them to say hi and stuff like that. Just so later on when they get older, they get the kind of respect kind of aspect.
Yeah.
But also, same thing. There's boundaries, They don't necessarily have to go run up, give them a hug, give them a kiss, all this stuff. Just a nice, hey, everyone, nice little high five. Like little kids, stuff like that. So I definitely agree with that.
And that's something like with Stella, we're like, because she's like super friendly, like we'll be like.
We need to tell you need to stop hugging these people, okay?
Yeah, I mean, like they like. I've been having like some people like come do some work at the house or giving me bits, and Stelita sees them inside the house, like, oh look, he's inside the house with my dad, like this is somebody we know, and I'm like, wait, don't, you can say hi, but trying to run up and give him a hug,
Yeah.
And a lot of the people are very respectful, and they just like give her a little pat in the head. They don't go like full on hug, you know what I mean?
They don't throw her up in the air.
Yeah.
No, I got that.
They better not with my baby. I mean, with her, of course, like she's just very innocent, and she doesn't know.
But we do try. We're like, hey, don't be, or like she would just be saying hi to everybody in like Walmart, I'll be like, hey, like hey, don't be saying hi to them.
Yeah, I don't want to say hi to them.
Oh yeah, especially today's world, you never know, especially out in public, man.
Yeah.
Like as bad as it is, to say kind of this opinion and stuff, you just never know nowadays.
Yeah.
It's just you gotta. It's one of those things where you gotta be really careful.
Yeah, that is very true. Which is, I mean, it's also sad because she's like innocent.
Right.
A hello will be sufficient, and that's about it. Okay, so you both have sisters. Tell me, well, you have sisters.
We all have sisters here in this table.
But no, we're just going to ask, was there something that you knew you could get away with that your sisters couldn't, and you like lived for it?
Breathe.
I was gonna say for sure, definitely kind of going out. Well, I feel like Leslie, you might disagree. Sorry about this, but I feel like I was always the more mature one, even at a young age.
Yeah,
right.
That's just the way I always carried myself, And I feel like I said, yeah, I did, stuff and said stuff that I was gonna do, and I went and did on something else, But I also watched myself, I was careful. I was smart with the way I moved, because growing up, I was always out in the street, always out with the other kids, just having fun. I was more out there. Leslie was more like, I'm gonna chill at the house, I'm gonna watch TV, kind of this stuff,
which is wild.
Exactly, because maybe that's why whenever we got together and stuff, maybe that's why she kind of got on a little rampage of acting out a little bit, because she never,
she was out and free.
Exactly, but when she got to that point, like same thing like me, neither one of us actually did the stuff that we said we were gonna do, but I just feel like my parents trusted my word a little bit more, and for the most part, I always did what I said I was gonna do.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just stuff that was included that wasn't gonna be a part of it.
You just made it sound more believable.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like for me, like I knew anytime I wanted to go to Dallas, I could.
I always had to come up with a story.
Yes, you had to come up with this big excuse.
And I need to tell them where, and maybe that's why I am that way, where like I need to know where I'm going, where I'm sleeping, because I had to be like, nos vamos a ir a esta hora y a las 5:30 vamos a llegar a Buc-ee's, y de Buc-ee's vamos a agarrar, y luego de ahí vamos a ir para acá, y luego el tío de la prima del sobrino del tío va a estar para allá, y luego
hasta la abuela.
Sí, y luego vamos a llegar al club, y en el club voy a bailar, no tan pegada, pero al menos pegada. Y en cuanto llegue te hablo, y it's like a ding, 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 ding. And I think there was just one time where Mikey acted a fool.
I'm innocent.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Well, we're about to get proven. No, it was just one time we went out for his birthday in Dallas, and let's just say, I'm not going to say numbers, names, or nothing, because we don't want the cops to come get us. Right. No, but he got a little too crazy, a little too drunk, right? Because me and my friends were encouraging him. Right. I'll take that. It was his birthday. We were like, we need to get him drunk.
Right.
And he was so drunk that he was like on the ground.
Like we didn't even make it to the club.
No, we didn't make it to the club.
Yeah.
We came right back. And
but
my mom...
in your mind, you did.
No, I knew it wasn't the floor.
Oh, yeah. This is where I was like, oh, I hate him. I'm just kidding. He's like passed out. I'm trying to help him so he can throw up on the toilet. And my mom calls him, and I'm literally picking his head up off the ground. He goes, ah. And she goes, ay, hijo, ¿cómo estás? ¿Se lo está pasando bien? Ay, me cuidas a Tania, por favor. No, ya ves. She goes, ya sabes cómo se pone. Oh, and I was like, what? And I literally with his head like this.
And then it was like whispering to me like what I should say.
And I was like, just say, okay. And then he goes, ok. Dice, bueno, mijo, te dejo, te la estás pasando muy bien. Ay, luego te hablo, pero cuídame a tu hermana. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, and then I let his head go. I'm just kidding.
Right.
Facts.
As you should.
Yes, but that moment I was like, y'all really think, like, which they weren't wrong. I was being crazy.
Yeah.
But and I mean it's funny because now I don't drink and I do go out, but not as much as I used to. So sometimes like we're literally just sitting like in the living room watching TV, and I'm like, who would have thought that this will be our lives? Yeah, now they're like, oh, are you going to go out? And I'm like, oh, no, I don't really feel like going out. They're like, oh, please go out and do something with your life. It is crazy. But I guess, with women, there's more things to worry about. I'm not saying that, men can't go through stuff or things can happen to men, but, with women, it's crazy out there. Do you ever feel like you wanted to rebel, or were you like, oh, this is fine?
No, like, what were you able? First of all, were you able to go out to the club and stuff like that
By yourself?
Well,
not by yourself, but
Yeah, well, I really never went to clubs in high school.
Did you want it to?
I wanted to, but
wait, hold on. What kind of clubs were here?
For high school?
No, I'm saying
we're not gonna incriminate.
No, like
establishments,
like garage bar.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
Well, I was just thinking because back in my day, we had Nico's, we had Rios, we had Outlaws,
Club Ice, maybe. I think that was more of like
Club Ice was there.
I think that was more of like a.
Club Ice was just there
for grown-ups.
For the grown and sexy. Yes. I remember one time you had a gig, at Club Ice.
And it didn't happen.
That's why it came into my mind because I was like, I remember you kind of.
But y'all didn't have a mic or something?
So there was this guy around town. I don't even remember his name to even burn him, but. But he was like trying to make it in the scene, like the club scene. He was like trying to be like the promoter of East Texas, So it was New Year's Eve, I guess. And he had told us to, if we wanted to play at Club Ice, they're going to have a big New Year's party. So we were like, yeah, that sounds cool. We went a couple of days before. He went with us. And we're there trying to see their setup and trying to see what kind of equipment we need to bring and all that. And then... we had our singer, Ricky, rest in peace, Ricky. He was like, oh, what about the mic? And then he was like, there was literally like a Zumba class or something like dance class going on right there and then. And the guy had a mic, like a wireless mic. And he was like, oh, well, let me ask him if that's it. And then he was like, yeah, I can use this. This is like the place's mic, So we're like, we're set up. We're good.
That's all we need.
December 31st comes around. We're there. We're unloading all of our stuff. We're literally about to almost play. And they were like, where's the mic? And they were like, make the story short and sweet. There was no mic, So we're like...
Somewhere out there, the Zumba instructor took it to do karaoke for his New Year's party.
For your New Year's party. The DJ probably, I don't know, but we were like, we ain't playing. And they were like, no, you guys. I was like, how are we going to play? And the guy can't sing. So we literally load up all of our stuff. And we're like, we're going to go to Shine on Vine because Ricky's brother owns Shine on Vine. So we're like, we're going to go to Shine on Vine and play in the car wash. And like a bunch of people just went with us.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. I remember that. Yeah. Okay. So you wanted to go to the club. Let's get back to it. You wanted to go.
Yes.
And what was like the reasoning your parents were like, no? Or were they like, if you take your sister, if you do this?
They wouldn't know.
Oh. What?
The truth comes out.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
So you're saying you went to the club without them knowing?
There'd be times.
Ooh.
See, no.
I'm just now hearing about this.
Well, no. Let me tell you, I've done it too, child. So don't feel bad. Because sometimes I would just be like, voy a ir a la casa de una amiga.
And
The amiga will be, you know,
Far West.
Rio. Her name was Outlaw. So you would just be like, oh, I'm going to go with a friend.
Yes.
And, ooh,
Yes, and
child.
so sorry in advance to my older sisters. I love y'all. But they were troubled. They were troubled growing up. And so I learned from them not to make
That's
the
right.
mistakes that they made.
Right.
So I've been taking notes. I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. I didn't get caught with this. Okay. Let me write that down.
That
It
is
yeah.
the upper hand, having like somebody to make the mistakes before
Right.
you.
So yeah, like there was like for us, it was like we always had somebody to take us because like we had an uncle that at his time he was like single or like dating, and then we were like, hey bro, we want to go to Dallas to the club, and then he was like, well, I'm down. So then we would like tell my parents because it was like a legit story. We're like, hey, we're gonna go clubbing with my uncle to Dallas, and they talked to my uncle. He's like, yeah, I'll take care of him. And like same thing, like he's like a straight up guy, so like he never did anything crazy or let us do anything crazy. You know, we did a little drinking and anything, but just and the hardest part was trying to sneak into the club because there was a time where I think Daniel was already 18, but I was like 16.
Yes.
And it was always like the struggle trying to get us into the
But once we were in, honey,
We're in.
Okay, let me just tell you something. This is a problem that I've had for a long time. Going to, what is it, Escapade?
Escapade, yeah.
When you order...
Have you ever been to Escapade?
Yes.
But which one? Because there's like...
01 or 09?
Did you go to the one that goes boop, 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 or the one that goes...
That one.
The one well, in that one, when you order a Jack and Coke, they put cherries on it.
Yeah, they always put a cherry on it.
Oh my God. And you know, I'm a former alcoholic, so that really hurt my feelings.
it was a fine establishment.
Yes. Like you will order a Jack and Coke,
Yeah.
and then you will get it, and then it's like 2 cherries.
Yeah.
And it's so gross. And then somebody stole my phone there, so if you're watching and you stole my phone there.
Send that shit back.
Yeah.
It was funny because we always would go to that one, and then for whatever reason, we would always try to go to the other one, like 09 or whatever it was, and we were there for like 2 seconds. It's like, it's too packed. Like, this music we ain't vibing with. We don't have a cowboy hat. Let's just go back to where we belong.
Yes, where we belong. Because, you know, coming from Mexico City, dancing in a circle is like a new thing for us.
Yeah.
You know, we're used to getting spinned around in the
circle,
not spin around in the circle. So like going to the like Far West and stuff was never like our thing.
Yeah.
But you know, if you put a little reggaeton or you put a little thing,
That's the
where,
vibe. Yeah. Bella finally got the taste of that because we back in April we went to Mexico. We went to Mexico City, ALDF. She got to meet our family over there on my mom's side, and we went for a quinceañera. We had the honor to be padrinos over there, and she saw the vibe.
Oh yeah,
she saw that.
It's so different, huh?
It's so
the
different.
culture is different than from where her family's from, which is from Michoacan, right? Yeah. So the style of music, the way they dance, is completely different, and especially us being born here and grown here.
Yeah.
The vibe is different. You got that Mexican vibe, but also that Tejano vibe.
Right,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Everything mixes together. So going over there for sure kind of, you know, made her see like, oh, like it's a different vibe over here. Like there's rock, there's pop, there's cumbia, and everything else, you know.
It's funny because like in our parties, like it could start with like Vicente Fernandez, and then my grandpa's like Los Tigres del Norte, and then by the end of the night you're listening to Molotov, and then you're like, oh, is that Guns N' Roses? Like it's just like
a mix,
a roller coaster.
Yeah, definitely mixed. Yeah.
Yes. So let me ask you another thing. when it comes to like going out, like whenever you went out on a trip, was like a set of rules that you think that was different from a guy? Like, were they like, you need to be home by this time, or you have to, don't go there, don't do this? Or was it pretty much like, if you're with somebody, you should be fine?
For me personally, I was kind of more. I didn't really do any traveling until I got
older.
Yeah.
And I really did most of that traveling. I've been doing most of that traveling with Bella, you know, and my parents definitely trust her, so they.
Well, let's get to that. What about you traveling with your boyfriend?
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't trust this guy.
You know
I'm quiet, but
did you ever have to take like a sister with you or your dad?
No, it was that one time we went to South Texas for the first time.
yeah, I feel like there were some
a lot of
concerns,
convincing.
but you know, I guess starting off, and I'm pretty sure you might be able to agree, you know, especially for guys, it's hard, you know, it takes a while for the family to get used to you. That's what
Right,
it's
yeah,
like you
yeah.
said, you know, we're trying to get into the family to, you know, be with, you know, their daughters.
daughter.
You know, they're obviously going to take certain precautions and be particular with what you do, you know, and it took a lot of convincing, but I guess finally, you know, eventually they got around to know, like, okay, this guy's cool. He knows what he's doing.
We know where he lives.
We know where he lives.
Yeah.
We'll find them and all this stuff. No, but you know, they got comfortable with me, and they're like, you know what? Eventually, it's gonna happen. Just go ahead, be safe. We'll keep in touch, kind of
Right.
thing. You know what I mean?
What about with you, Mikey? Was there like a hard thing when you were dating Cynthia?
Yeah, no, like her parents were pretty strict with her in a way, which I mean, it was good. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, you look back on it, and it's like, it's good that her parents were strict because then it's not that Cynthia's a wild person or anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
But then like they didn't let her get into like situations
Trouble.
where
Into
they
trouble.
could have been some trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, for us it was like always hard because like we would, you know, you and I and our friends, we would want to go club in Dallas or do this and do that, and of course I want to take Cynthia with me, and it was like, oh, she has to be back by 11. I was like, man, we're leaving at 9, you know, like
Yeah.
there's no making it. But it was like, she was a trooper because she took a lot of like regañadas from her mom, you know, and stuff like that.
She
And,
took the risk.
yeah, and like every time like she had like the slightest hint of, and like Cynthia's not a drinker, you know what I mean? She was never like sloppy or anything, so any little slightest smell of like alcohol, she would get in
They
trouble,
know
you
what
know what I
If
mean?
she only knew that it was me spilling my drink from her. I'm sorry, Cynthia.
Shout out to Bea. Shout out to you, babe. She took a lot of heat and stuff for kind of bending the rules a little bit to hang out with me. But like I said, you know, eventually, thankfully, shout out to my suegros if you ever watch this. They came around and, you know, thankfully, you know, they got to know the true person that I am.
You know, I guess like that's like the whole thing with like a strict parent or somebody that like puts rules. It's just because they want you to respect
Right.
For sure.
their household, their daughter, like, you know, that this is not just somebody you can just play with.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and you know, as girls, sometimes it's a little unfair, and sometimes I'm like, I don't want to put pants on, okay? Like, but at the same time, you know, me with my dad was never really strict with me. Like, he was never like, you have to do this, you have to do that. But when it came, I guess like what helped was that Mikey is like 2 years younger than me. We always kind of had the same friends. So if I wanted to go out, like they would pretty much let me because it was like with Mikey. And honestly, I don't think like my dad knew how crazy I was.
Yeah.
Until one day I decided to stop drinking. They're like, oh, you had a problem?
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, they were like, oh, I think my mom had seen me, like, drink and stuff, and she was like, yeah. Like, me and her had, you know, little here's and there's. But my dad was like, oh, you gonna stop drinking? Well, like, okay.
When did you start? You know?
Yeah, like, it was like, and then, like, sometimes I'll tell him, like, I just, like, finished a whole bottle by myself. He's like, wait, what? Like, what is happening? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I was crazy. But I guess, like, they always kind of, like, trusted us and was like,
Yeah, like we never ended up in jail or anything. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
God. But then again, like I had other friends that their parents were very like, you can do whatever you want.
yeah. No,
I think
yeah.
we all have those
And they
friends,
will
yeah.
always tell me like, oh, your parents don't trust you. And that always like made me so upset. Because I'm like, they do trust me, but they just don't want me to make mistakes
That limit.
I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
like. And then also, it's not that they don't trust me; it's that they don't trust other people.
They don't trust
Yes.
you.
They don't trust you. That's right.
Yeah.
They know I'm hanging out with your ass.
Yeah, that's why they're worried.
For sure. Like in my instance, my parents always knew all of my friends, so
Yeah.
they knew who I would kick it
Right.
with. My clique growing up was small. It was like 5, maybe 6 of us growing up. Same folks. Everybody, went and did the same stuff.
Right.
So I guess at the time, since they also knew their parents, they were kind of more cool with it. But also at the same time, kind of like me, they knew how to keep their stuff on the low.
Yeah.
Most of them knew their limits, and if y'all watch this, y'all know who y'all are. Not gonna point out any names. There's a couple,
Mauricio.
there's a couple
We
wild
need
ones.
last names.
There was a couple wild ones in that little group, and I feel like there was like me and another guy that were a little bit more mellow, kind of mellowed everyone out. We're
Right.
more the babysitters, We had our fun,
Oh,
but we
yeah,
were like
yeah.
the babysitters, Like we knew in our mind, like, yeah, this stuff is cool right now. We're having a good time, but also we gotta watch out because after this, we gotta make it to the crib. We gotta
Yeah,
go sleep,
yeah.
stuff like that. So
Well, now that I think about it, I think maybe I was the one getting babysit on. So that's why I'm like,
Facts.
So that's why I was like, oh, this is
except
not.
that one day.
Yeah, except that one day. Yeah, it was
yeah,
one out
literally
of
it
like
was
a
the
1,000.
one day. Yeah, Mikey will always be like, Daniel, we gotta go. Daniel, and I would just be like,
It was like 3 a.m.
Having the time of your life.
yes.
There
like,
was times when, because there was my dad had a house and had it was like he was fixing it. It was next to our house, and there was like a garage, and that's where we used to hang out in. And there was a time that we started getting like, just ballsy, because we were like, we're home, like what's gonna happen? And then my parents were like, well, they're home, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that they didn't care what happened in there, but and then we were just drinking, we were just hanging out. But there was times that we were there hanging out so late that we would hear my dad go to work. and we're like over there like, hey, be quiet, be quiet.
Yeah. and it wasn't a be quiet, he's leaving, we should wrap this up.
Yeah.
It was like, just be quiet, let
Until
him
he
Yeah,
goes,
yeah,
and
till
then
he
we'll
leaves,
keep
yeah.
going. Turn the music back up.
Yes. Oh my God, that garage child.
Yeah, and that's the one time that
We need to do an exorcism.
right. That was the one time my dad kind of pointed out that or like me and him having that conversation. Like, I know you're drinking, because he was just like, hey, yeah, go clean up that room, and
yeah.
I was like, and it was like bottles everywhere.
Those indirectas,
Right.
Yes. Honestly, if we would have had a camera in the room and outside of the room, it would be like Jersey Shore. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I'd be rich right now.
yes. That would
Or in
be-
jail.
Whichever one came first.
Right. That is crazy. Okay, so just kind of to wrap this up. Now that you guys are growing up and Mikey has kids, you guys maybe in the future will want to have kids. Do y'all think you will be strict or you will be more like lenient?
I would like to start because I know, thankfully, Stella's gonna be a nun, so I have to worry about that.
Catholic school and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mother Teresa the second.
The
Yeah,
second.
So
so
she's like,
Right.
I feel like there's gonna be a mixture of both, and I say that because my parents were like that. Being younger, my dad was my mom was the more strict one, and then my dad was kind of more like, okay, let them be kids, whatever.
Right.
yes.
Then once it hit to that turning point, like after middle school, going on to high school, that switch flipped.
Right.
So then it was my mom kind of being more chill and laid back, and my dad more like, oh no, we got to keep a closer eye on this. But I also feel like our parents growing up in Mexico City, they grew up in the streets playing with friends, stuff like that. So I feel like they know what goes on, they know what's up.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's what flipped the switch with my dad to kind of know, like, oh, in that age, Maybe, you know, he was like, I did some stuff and, you know, I need him to be careful.
It was more out of guilt.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? You know, even till this day, I still kind of ask myself that question, you know.
I remember one day we were hanging out somewhere. We was like somebody's birthday, and we're at a restaurant. The whole family was there, and you were working somewhere. I can't remember where it was. It might have been Manny's. Did you work at Manny's?
Oh yeah.
And then like you came.
No paid sponsorship.
Yeah. No.
This is not an ad.
Yeah, I'm a bleep it. And then you came in to the dinner late, and then your mom. I remember your mom being like, "Hey, weren't you supposed to go to so and so's birthday party?" And then you were like, "Yeah, but no, I'm tired." And your mom was like, "But they invited you. You should go." And then you were like, "Nah, I was late. I'm tired." They've probably already been drinking. She was like, "Mario, you have to go." And I was just like, bro, my mom would have been like, "Oh, come on, you stay home, you know." Yeah. But your mom was like, "Yeah, go, go have fun, you know."
Yeah, that's my mom even to this day. You know, I think she likes for us to, and she likes to see us enjoy ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
But also, like I said, you know, there was my dad there. Like once we got older, like watch that limit. Even though I know well, my dad knows. Like I said, not self-incriminating myself. I like to make that clear. I know I've said it a couple of times, but just making it clear, it's for entertainment purposes only.
We're going to put a little banner in.
You know, the stuff that I did, I feel like my dad knew, and he knew the game, and he would spit game to me, but also kind of get me in trouble at the same time, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know, I know what's up, you know what's up, just kind of keep a close eye. Right. But he never told it to me straightforward. Right. He definitely made that clear, for sure.
Bea, do you think you're going to be strict, or are you going to let him
Good cop, bad cop.
You're the good cop.
I'm the good cop.
I'd be the bad cop. I feel like, like I said, there's his limits, but yeah.
Honestly, I don't see that. I see Mikey, and I'm like, he's going to be like Mikey with Stella. Like, Stella could be like killing a bunny. He'd be like, "Oh, Mikey was a bad bunny."
Prende la parrilla.
Saca las tortillas.
Yes, like Mikey was like, "Oh, I told her to do that. Yeah, we're gonna cook it. It's fine." I think you're gonna be the good cop. Vega's gonna be like,
I'm sure I'll have my moments, but he's gonna be doing most of the bad copying.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just based off of experiences growing up. You know. Sometimes you make good decisions, they end up working out for you, and sometimes you make bad ones. And when you lean towards more of the good ones, you look back at the bad ones, and you're kind of like, damn, did I really have to take that way, or could I really just take a step back? And if I would have started going the better way at an age where I thought going the bad way was better for me, I would have been doing a lot better than what I am now. So that's kind of why I feel like I'd be more of the bad cop. I did strict. That. Like, hold up, watch out. You know? Yeah.
What about you, Mikey? All games aside, what are you gonna get? Are you gonna tell Stella no, you can't go to the club?
Yes.
For sure. She's gonna be busy in Catholic school.
Yeah. Baby Mikey's not even gonna ask you.
Yeah. Right. I was gonna say, what would you do with Stellita and baby Mikey?
Well, no, that would be the ideal setup, you know, if they were able to, you know, same thing, you know, just go together. You know, it does make you feel. I understand that concept of.
You have that comfort.
Yeah. If they're both together, they can look after each other and stuff like that. And same thing, like you say, like growing up, you see your kids, you know, if you see they're a little squirrely, you know, you're like, you know, maybe you shouldn't be going at that much, you know.
Hit that reset button.
Right, but if you see them, you know, like. They're not just making those dumb decisions all the time, and you know, as you wish, you know, you want your kids to be independent and to know that they're gonna be able to hold their own. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And if you can tell that, you know, by the way they conduct themselves, you know, with family or with friends, stuff like that, that's a little bit easier. And of course, you gotta set those little boundaries. You know what I mean?
Well, I have decided. I've changed my mind. Because I always said that I was going to be like the cool tia that would take you to the club, go to the club with you. I don't do that anymore. I want to be the tia that picks you up, takes you to her house, And since I'm going to be like, your parents are going to be calling me, y'all going to be calling me with the kids. Like, hey, is Stella there? Is Aaliyah there? I'm going to be like, yeah, they're fine. I picked them up. And then the next morning, they're going to help me clean the house because they just feel so grateful.
Yes.
And then they're going to make me breakfast. And then whenever I drop them off at y'all's houses, y'all going to be like, oh, my God, Tanya, thank you so much for picking them up.
Here's
Here
$20.
is $20. Let me cook you some dinner. And that's here's some gas money. Or y'all going to be like, hey, take them to the club. Here's $50 for bottle service. $50. Your parents didn't give me no money, so y'all gonna have to drink water.
Up, yeah.
Yes, so I'm gonna be that tia, the morning tia. I don't want to say the morning after tia, because that sounds like a little weird, but you know what I'm saying. The recalentado tia.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this conversation was amazing. Thank you guys for coming. At the end of the day, we love our parents so much. We appreciate everything they've done for us. We do see the difference that y'all be acting with these boys. But at the end of the day, we're thankful for these boys, right? Right?
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming to El Coto. Mikey, goodbye. We'll see y'all next time.
Appreciate it, everybody.
Applause.
Thank you for watching.
Swipe up, subscribe. Oh,